Hi, I'm Andrew,
Hi, I'm Colin.
and this is our college football podcast. Before you click away, basically all of our viewers click away in like the first 30 seconds, and we get like a lot of dislikes on our videos. So please watch the whole video and then make an accurate assessment. And if you still dislike it, then leave a dislike.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna try something new this week. We are gonna get rid of our week recap because a lot of you guys have already know what happened.
It's redundant.
So yeah, we're gonna add more time for some newer segments. All right, so the one game we are gonna recap is the USC game. If you have not watched already, please do not. It was horrible. That brings a question. Do you think USC can make a bowl game this year?
Well, I want to start talking about quarterback play first. Miller Moss with his nice 3-interception game really kind of threw it away at the end. The turnovers are really killing the team. And I think in terms of bowl game, you got to get to the 6-game mark. USC will not win against Notre Dame. Notre Dame will be at the Coliseum, but that will not be a win. UCLA probably will be a win. That'll put us to 5 wins. But really, the difference maker, the decider here is the Nebraska game. Pretty even matchup. Nebraska's been life and death with Rutgers, but they've also had some solid wins against teams like Colorado. USC could, in theory, but I mean, with the way they've been playing with like losses to Maryland and Minnesota and Washington, it's totally up in the air. Nothing's a given here.
Yeah, no, it's just been questionable. I do not see USC winning 6 games this year. Notre Dame, they're not upsetting Notre Dame. UCLA, they're decent. I mean, you never know with a rivalry game. In Nebraska, with the way Miller Moss has been playing, I don't see it. And now do you think Riley, USC has been in the game, in the lead, in every single game we've had the lead. In the second half, in the fourth quarter, we've had the lead in every single game we played this year. We're 4-5?
4-5.
Yeah. This is, you gotta say, at some point, is it maybe the coach? I understand we can't fire Lincoln, but we gotta figure something out.
Yeah, if Lincoln's buyout wasn't about $80 million, then he would be gone at the end of the season. I mean, this is unacceptable. USC is a premier, top tier program, and we're not going to be bowl eligible per chance.
He's worse than Helton. He's way worse than Helton. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
Right, and recruiting wise, he was supposed to be a great coach. He worked with Williams, Baker Mayfield, Spencer Rattler, all NFL quarterbacks. And now we have Miller Moss. He showed up against Louisville. He showed up against LSU. But since then, he's been pretty lackluster at best.
Miller Moss he's been bad. He's been bad. I mean, horrible. I mean, he's terrible. He can't make reads. He's inaccurate. He has no mobility. We gotta figure something out. We haven't maybe tried the backup. I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's too late in the season to pull out the backup, but if Moss were a junior, then I think next season trying out the backup for the first few games might be, an option for sure. All right. Well, I think we should move on to the next segment.
All right.
In the interest of time, because our videos have been too long lately.
All right. So let's talk about our segment.
Biggest frauds. It's our new rotating segment for the week. So we got biggest frauds because there are some teams who are undefeated or one-loss teams who should not be undefeated or one-loss and ranked. Miami at number 5. Yeah. I think I'll start this one off again with Miami. Cam Ward, very solid quarterback. However, defense is unacceptable. I mean, they were life and death with Duke, and Duke put up over 30 points on them. They've just been outscoring everybody, but they were really close with Cal. No ranked wins for the Hurricanes. Not much has been proven. They're in the ACC. Not much I like from them aside from Cam Ward's play, which isn't really enough to justify a number 5 ranking, let alone a top 20 ranking.
So here I'm gonna go with number 9 BYU. I mean, they don't have any really good wins. I think the only good win they have is Kansas State, who was number 13 at the time. But I don't think Kansas State's that great either. They just lost to Houston. So I think BYU to me is one of the biggest frauds in the country right now. They're not killing anyone. Oklahoma State, they only won by a field goal. UCF only by like a touchdown. I feel like they're, to me, one of the biggest frauds in college football at the moment.
I think Clemson is now less. They were a fraud. They're now less of a fraud. So I won't go touch on them. But SMU definitely a big fraud. Their only win to Pitt. But now Pitt's like losing games. And so like this whole ACC conference, like the top 4 or 5 teams in the ACC they're all like frauds. They're winning their out of conference games, but their out of conference games are against really bad teams or just group of 5 teams. So I just. The whole ACC is going to struggle. Big 12 as well. They're all going to struggle in the playoff, and I think it's really going to be dominated by SEC and Big 10 teams.
I mean, yeah, no. Steel sharpens steel. These teams are just making each other better. I guess they're kind of beating each other down in the big conferences. But I think they're just getting better. I think when it comes playoff time, these SEC and Big 10 teams are going to be just dominant.
No frauds in the SEC for sure.
No. Missouri?
Yeah, Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. No, Missouri's a fraud.
No, Missouri's a fraud.
Yeah.
We've seen it. They lost Alabama by, 5 touchdowns? Lost Texas A&M by 4 touchdowns. Oh, great. You beat UMass. Congratulations. You beat Murray State. I mean, their wins are not against good teams. The only 2 actual wins I have is beating Vanderbilt by a field goal. I mean, it's Vanderbilt, come on. And a horrible Auburn team by 4. I mean, this Auburn team is 3-6. They're losing to everyone, all right? So, I think
they just lost to Vanderbilt, yeah.
The only other team, the last ranked team I think so far has to be Iowa State. They lost last week. I think they're just going to continue to lose. Everyone was so high on them. Number 10, they're not good. I mean, yeah, they beat North Dakota and Houston, but they lost to Texas Tech. It was a great game. I don't know if you watched. It was like a nail biter.
Yeah, Texas Tech right at the end scored a touchdown.
But no, it was their Iowa State. I don't know. They're just kind of. To me, they're boring. I don't know. I think they used to be good. They used to be legit back when Brock Purdy was there. I used to be almost like a fan. But now I just feel like this year they're kind of a fraud, and I don't see them making the playoffs.
All right. Transitioning from frauds, we're going to go to upsets. I think they kind of fit in the same umbrella. So for my first potential upset, I have Miami at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, they're an okay team. They're okay. They're not great. They're not horrible. But Miami, are they really that good? I mean, they're 9-0. They have Cam Ward, but they don't have much else. Georgia Tech's their offense isn't horrible. I mean, I'm sure they'll put up at least 28 points against Miami. And, it's hard for the offense to score 30-plus points every single game. Eventually, they're going to fall. They haven't been 9-0. They've been 9-0 in program history, but it's been at least a decade plus. So I really think Miami's impending doom could be next week.
I'm just gonna continue the BYU hate and say that I don't like BYU against Utah. Yes, Utah's lost 4, but I know Kyle Whittingham is a savvy coach. He's gonna figure out an amazing scheme to stop these BYU Cougars, and I think Utah is prime for an upset right now. I think it's just waiting to happen. You get a couple lucky bounces, and I think Utah's gonna win that football game.
For my next take, this will be pretty controversial. Michigan at Indiana. Indiana has proven themselves. They are 13. They aren't as much of a fraud, but I think people sleep on Michigan. They're 5-4, but they're 3-3 in the Big Ten. They've had a really rigorous. They've had a tough schedule. They beat SC. They clutched up. They You know, and SC's not as good as we thought they were, but still, you know, I think that this game will be close. I think it'll be competitive. I think it'll be fun to watch. You know, it'll be a very fun conference rivalry. And if Indiana does lose this game, then they might still make the conference championship. But this will tell us a lot about their team for sure. So I think that'll be a fun game to watch. Just be on upset alert for that.
I'm gonna take the Oklahoma Sooners versus Missouri. Missouri is a fraud. I think we all know that one. But you know, the Sooners, I think they're a solid team. Besides a little bit of QB controversy, they can't really find a solid quarterback right now. Whether that's like Jackson Arnold or Hawkins, but I feel like if they can just have one guy kind of figure it out, they're gonna be a really, really solid team, and I think they'll be able to beat Missouri easily. I mean, they've had some tough losses. Obviously, they dropped that one to South Carolina. They lost Ole Miss in not really it was a bad game. They got killed by Texas and Tennessee, but they have only one unranked loss. I don't think Missouri is a ranked team, to be honest. So I do think Oklahoma will pull it off here.
For my final upset, I actually have Washington at Penn State. Look, hear me out. I know Penn State is coming off the win against Ohio State, but Ohio State's largely unproven. I mean, they were close with Oregon, but teams tend to play better against better teams. You know, as you're saying, steel sharpens steel. They were life and death with Nebraska, and they don't have any other ranked. They have the. Sorry, wait, I'm losing it. Sorry. Penn State's lost to Ohio State. You know, that's their only ranked win. They have no other games that they really proved themselves. They were really close with Nebraska, and so Penn State they are kind of frauds. We kind of knew this coming into this week, but I really think that it's going to be competitive with Washington and Penn State for sure.
So for my last upset, give me Virginia over Pitt. I don't think Pitt is that good of a team. They're ranked number 18. They're not as much of a fraud, but, the way this ACC conference has been going, there's upsets every week. Someone's going to pull something off. I just think, it's Virginia's time to shine. Pitt, they were undefeated until they lost to SMU by a good amount. I mean, they at least lost by 3 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns and some change. And I don't think they really have that many good wins. They beat Syracuse as that's their big win, which isn't even that big, as they barely beat Cincinnati. They barely beat Kent State. They beat Youngstown State, but yeah, they're not a good team. So I just got a feeling that I think Virginia's going to pull one off right now.
All right, I think this concludes our show for this week. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below how we did, what y'all thought. I know most of y'all leave after the first 30 seconds, but for those who stick around who aren't our parents, if there are any, please just let us know how we did in the comments.
In the comments, if you want to hear the weekly recap, please tell us. All right,
yes.
If we want us to bring back gambling, please tell us.
I don't think anyone does.
If there's something you want to happen, let us know in the comments. It only promotes channel growth, and we'd like to hear your feedback.
Yep.
Thank you.